Good morning, everyone. Let me point out that over the past decade, we really have made historic gains in public safety and public health. As we've been talking the last couple of weeks, trying to have an end of the summary, today New Yorkers are living longer than ever. Crime is down more than 34% in the past 10 years. Traffic crashes are down to their lowest level on record, and we are responding to fire and ambulance emergencies faster than ever. These changes have saved thousands of lives, but if we want to build on these gains, we know we have to do even more. We must find even more innovative ways to improve public health and safety even during these tough economic times. And I've always believed that it's essential to continue investing in critical infrastructure when the economy turns down. That's the time to stand up and make the investment so that when the economy gets better, we'll have the resources available. And today, I think we are seeing the results of one of our most important investments in public health and in safety, the Public Safety Answering Center, or PSAC as we call it. And we stand in PSAC today. It is one of the most advanced emergency call centers in the nation, and I think it's fair to say it's a world away from the old system that we inherited. New York City operates the nation's largest 911 emergency communications center. It handles 11 million calls a year, or approximately 30,000 calls every single day. The system, which was created back in 1968 and upgraded in 1995, has unfortunately remained largely unchanged since 1995. But over the past 4 decades, our city's population has grown by 1.5 million. The number of annual visitors that come here has soared. And in the wireless age, more than 50% of callers are using cell phones to dial 911. And this has made it more difficult for operators at the old center to identify the location of a caller. Over time, the challenges to manage an infrastructure that was increasingly susceptible to stress, increasingly overburdened, and increasingly antiquated has continued to grow. And making matters worse, the centers continue to be spread across the city and managed by 3 distinct agencies, the NYPD, the FDNY, and Emergency Medical Dispatch, over the last few years, with no real automated way to share data and work together. I'm happy to say that as of right now, all of that has changed. For the first time, our city's more than 1,500 emergency call takers and dispatchers are together, making it easier for them to collaborate and coordinate emergency responses throughout the 5 boroughs. And the software that they use here is truly state-of-the-art, allowing for information to be integrated and shared. And the new hardware environment moves New York more than 3 decades old 911 network fully into the 21st century. Taken together, these improvements make up the largest, most comprehensive technology and hardware overhaul we think of any 911 system in America. The modernization of our 911 system will improve how we assess and respond to emergencies in 4 principal ways. First, previously separate call-taking and dispatch operations centers are now co-located in the same building and on the same floor. And we have integrated agency computer systems to allow automatic sharing of emergency information, saving precious minutes and undoubtedly saving lives as well. Second, the system is now scalable and fully functional at up to 6 times the normal daily call volume. And we achieved this through 2 major upgrades. We installed 2 new, more durable switches that have successfully been shown to handle a call volume of 25,000 calls per hour per switch, and upgraded the city's emergency telephone and radio networks, thereby strengthening our emergency communications core. And the upgrades we have made enable calls to enter the system far faster than ever. Third, emergency calls are now delivered automatically to 911 via an intelligent call-taking system called VESTA, V-E-S-T-A, rather than through a telephone. And this means that 911 call takers now receive automatically not only the address and telephone number of the caller, but also a digital map of the caller's location. So whether the caller is at 42nd Street in Manhattan, or at 42nd Street in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, or 42nd Street in Sunnyside, Queens, our call takers will know. And fourth, And finally, we've made significant upgrades at our current 911 backup facility at One Police Plaza and at communications offices in Queens and the Bronx, which have similar backup operations for the FDNY. These improvements, while significant, I'm happy to say are only part of our effort to ensure that the nation's largest 911 system is also the most technologically sound and the most secure. To ensure either greater redundancy and reliability, the city, you should know, is constructing a second PSAC up in the Bronx. PSAC 2, as it's called, will operate in conjunction with the PSAC right here in downtown Brooklyn, with each having the capacity to support the city's entire 911 operations in the event of a crisis. And this level of redundancy will ensure that, God forbid, disaster were to strike one of the centers, the second center would be able to seamlessly handle the city's entire 911 emergency communications needs. Responding to crisis situations quickly and effectively requires that our technological infrastructure be able to handle the demands of a large, dynamic city, and that the professionals who answer the 911 calls be able to share information accurately and in real time with their colleagues, both in the command center and in the field. We're going to hear from the police commissioner and the fire commissioner, the DeWitt commissioner, and then we'll be happy to take your questions. So why don't we start with the police commissioner. Ray Kelly has been a tremendous partner in ensuring that New York remains the nation's safest big city. And Ray, the public would certainly like your views on what's happened here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's no question about it that this new facility has helped the New York City Police Department answer calls more quickly. It's enabled us to coordinate more effectively with the fire department, and it certainly has provided a much more comfortable environment for our call takers and our dispatchers. Now, because of the advances in this center, 99.9% of the calls that come in here are answered within 30 seconds. 98% of the calls that come in here are answered within 10 seconds. And that is 8% above the national standard of 90%. Now, even though the percentage numbers are small, it can impact on thousands of people because, as the mayor said, there's over 11 million calls a year that comes into this center. Now, we're able, again, as the mayor said, to identify more quickly where a caller is located. You call on a cell phone, there is a screen that opens automatically and tells the call taker precisely where you are. It used to be that the call taker had to close one screen and open another screen to do that. So vital seconds are saved. It also alleviates the possibility of delays when switches get overloaded. There's two main switches provided here by the telephone company. Now we have a system that better distributes calls among those two switches. You can also disseminate life-saving information more quickly. Call takers now are given specific information dealing with a particular emergency, so they can transfer that information to callers much more quickly. There's no question about it that in the last decade, technological improvements have been essential to our crime-fighting efforts. And in this center, along with our partnership with the fire department, is going to continue to make New York even safer. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Ray, thank you. I think it's fair to say that we certainly wouldn't be where we are today in keeping our city safe without the work of Commissioner Sal Casano and the members of the fire department. Sal?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The process of saving lives starts in this room. Many people in this department are involved in the lives we save. Many people that you never see. In this room, our dispatchers send our firefighters, our EMTs, and our paramedics to patients in cardiac arrest, fires, and a host of additional emergencies. The FDNY members handle over 1.5 million calls a year. This is a tremendous amount. And that's why we've invested so much in improving our 911 system and worked so hard to integrate our operations with the NYPD. As the mayor said, we announced last week we get to medical emergencies on an average of 6 minutes and 31 seconds, the fastest time ever recorded. And we get to structural fires in 4 minutes and 2 seconds. 10 seconds faster than we did 3 years ago. We've never gotten there faster than we do today. We know that every second counts, and the goal of every person in this room both fire and police, is to get the first response to the people that need them as quickly as possible. This is just not a call-taking center. The FDY members who answer these 911 calls are trained not only to get the ambulance or the fire engines to you quicker, but also to begin medical care on the phone right away. The people in this room have walked friends and family members through CPR of a loved one over the phone. They've helped mothers deliver their babies over the phone, helped scared children have dialed 911 when their parent has gone unconscious. And they've been voice talking to patients and working to keep that person calm until the additional help required is there. As we've been standing here, hundreds of residents and visitors in this city have called 911 for many different reasons. As you can see, the operations continue to go very smoothly, and firefighters, EMT, paramedics, and police officers have been responding to those calls and getting people the help they need. So this center is keeping people who live, work, and visit New York safer every day. Thank you.
Sal, thank you. Commissioner Carol Post has been tireless in seeing the modernization and technology redesign that we've done here through to the finish, and I'd like to invite her to share a few words. Carol?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the IT agency for New York City, we're charged to deliver IT systems and solutions that help our agency partners deliver on their core mission. And I can think of no more important core mission than public safety. So we've been really pleased to be able to contribute to the delivery of PSAC 1 and ultimately to PSAC 2. As you've heard, the technological improvements have brought us into the current state-of-the-art conditions that you're seeing around you and have improved performance for what's vital to our first responders to do their jobs in the most effective and efficient way. I'd like to thank the mayor and the deputy mayor for their support, and certainly Commissioners Cassano and Kelly for their partnership. I'd also like to recognize the members of DO IT and the OCEC staff who pushed through incredibly complex and unique challenges from the technical perspective to bring us to where we are today and improve the conditions for the police department, the fire department, and all New Yorkers. Thank you.
Carol, thank you. I think it's fair to say that none of this would have happened without, or at least lately, it wouldn't have gotten done without Deputy Mayor Kaz Holloway. He is one of the people that deserve a lot of credit for this milestone as Deputy Mayor of Operations. He's been behind a lot of the projects that were going to make New York an even more dynamic place to live and work in the coming years. I think the real takeaway from this is the major investments that we've made into an outdated and overburdened 911 system have come to fruition, and we can look the public in the eye and say, after a month of running virtually seamlessly, we have the best system that we could possibly create. We think it's the most advanced and best system in the country. It is certainly a system that can deal with the most complex society that this country has. We have an answer if you were to pick up the phone and call and say, somebody's holding me up. I just fell down the stairs and broke a leg, and by the way, there's a fire. One call will get you the kind of response that you need. That's exactly the kind of coordination that we need. And I'm happy to say that the public can go to sleep tonight feeling safer than they did before. It does not mean you shouldn't take precautions. You can prevent fires. You can have smoke detectors. You can look before you cross the street. You can have some common sense in guarding yourself and your property. But if you need the first responders there, this is the system that is going to get the world's best police department, the world's best fire department, and the world's best ambulance corps to you as quickly as possible. And with that, we will take some questions. I just wanted to point out that we have some representatives from the Metrotech bid here, and I just wanted to thank them. Any questions? Yes, sir.